little later on. Hey folks, whoever's just jumping on, hope you're doing well. It's Tuesday night, at least for me, and welcome to the Tuesday live stream, wherever you are in the world. It might be Tuesday morning or Tuesday lunchtime or even Tuesday evening, like it is for me. And so this is also kind of treated almost as like my late night practice session as well. But I'm glad you could be here. And I'm just kind of practicing over a solo section of a tune for a gig that's coming up. And so I'll be doing a bit of that tonight. But if you have any questions, just pop it down in the chat. Anything to do with bass playing, of course. Because, of course, this is a bass live stream, right? So I'm glad you could be here. And if you're here for the first time, don't forget to like and subscribe. But I'm glad you could join me. Chuck Beasy, how you doing? Good to see you, man. I am not familiar with an app called Modacity. What is Modacity? Let's have a look. Modacity. Let's see. Music practice journal. Oh, okay. So it's like it's a practice journal app. Keeps track and tells you to go practice now. No, I'm not. This is the first time hearing about this, but this might be something for a few of my students might need to check out. It tells you how long. So just keeps track of what you've been doing, what you've been practicing, any new tunes or anything. Okay, that's cool. Hey, thanks for that, Chuck. I'll check it out. It looks pretty interesting. Keep tabs on your progress. And you can record your practice sessions as well. Nice. Okay, yeah, this is great. I'm going to check this out more, and this might be something that some of my students might need to just check out. I do have a few students who definitely need a little more motivational push when it comes to practicing. Just like anybody might, right? Not everyone is super precise, you know, and that's okay. That's totally all right. But that's cool. Thank you for that recommendation, Chuck. Sean, how you doing? Sean Grooveline. That's right, Sean with the groove lines. Nice. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you, bro. Good to see you, man. You can see my groove lines in the back there. All right. So that's some nice kind of chords. Oops. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to play along to the app that I've really been enjoying, and I've played this on a few of the live streams. Trying to see, do they have that tune as yet? the feel book. Right now, this is probably my favorite app that I've been playing to. I've been at least using this every single, like, at least every day, and especially in my night practice sessions. It's just been nice playing along to a really good play along. And this is this is an app that was developed by one of my favorite guitar players, Jonathan Kreisberg. So it's really well done. And it's real recorded musicians, New York cats. There's different rhythm sections. So it's like a modern kind of Aebersold play along, but like in a very kind of, that very modern New York kind of sound and feel, which is really nice, and some great players. So I'm going to play along to a tune here. Along Came Betty. And it tells you who's playing on this track. So this is Glenn Zaleski on piano, Danton Bowler on bass, and Willie Jones III on drums. And it also gives you like a little history of it. And of course it has the chords, and as you go through. It's really nice, and of course it's just such a beautiful backing track as well. It's really inspiring to play along. So I'm going to play a bit of this. And Along Came Betty is one of my favorite tunes as well. But again, this is like a little bit of my you get to see a little bit of my nighttime practice that I'm doing here. But please, ask if you have any questions, anything to do with bass playing, please pop it down in the chat. Let's see. So it's kind of cool, even though, yes, I'm a bass player, but it's kind of cool to just step out of that role and just be a horn player, you know? Just be the lead instrument. And it's nice to just try ideas out. And with a really great sounding rhythm section. So, hey, Clicked. What should I learn in order to be able to play like you? Oh man, where do I even begin? This is so just to give you a little background. So I've been playing for almost 30 years, and it's a culmination. I'll just say this here, and and this is a question, and by any means, it doesn't bother me or anything, because I think these are great questions to ask, and especially of this day and age of everything being served to you right away, and us the consumers wanting that instant thing of being able to have the thing now. There are a lot of things though where it's a process, right? There's no hack. There's no shortcut. There's no cheat sheet. You have to. The reason why I play the way I do is because there's been literally thousands of hours in the practice room, playing gigs, spending time, with my own discovery, figuring out what is the kind of music that I want to play. How am I trying to express myself? Listening to so much music. And in this case, being a jazz musician, I've dedicated my life to listening and playing a lot of things in the jazz genre. I eat it, I breathe it, I sleep it. It's a big part of my life, right? And this is not something that just happens overnight. It's a continuation. There's a want for it. You have to want it, right? And also you have to want to keep striving to develop it and to be open. But also you need to express it from a place within you. So that means being vulnerable in your art. And that is, showing your feelings through your, in the artistic process, in your playing, in your music. Being honest with yourself, being honest with what you're playing. And even when you're listening to music, not listening to music to just only for it's the technical ability of what some of the players are doing, but listening to music that really moves you, that connects with you on an emotional level. So going back to your question of like, what should I learn in order to be able to play like you? Well, you need to figure out, okay, who do I want to play like? And it's okay to like be drawn to an influence and be like, I want to do that. So I'll give you an example. 3 of my biggest bass heroes, Stanley Clarke, Jaco Pastorius, John Patitucci, right? Those are the 3 cats right there for me where it was like, yeah, I want to be able to not play exactly like them, but I want to be able to get to a certain level of freedom the way that they are able to do, right? But in my own way, right? And that's where, your journey and your quest begins. And that's the whole thing, is find out like what really moves you in music. And then, of course, and that is the whole, that essence of it. Of course, there's the theory parts, understanding harmony, how chords work, jazz harmony, tunes, repertoire. That's a big thing as well. Playing tunes. So, like for me, that's why even just coming back to playing standards is such a important thing for me, because they're the perfect vehicles for being able to really of expression, but also to when you're just trying to figure out things, right? That's what I love to do. It's almost like a laboratory or laboratory, as however you might say it, where you get to experiment with things. So it's it's definitely a difficult question. What should I learn? Well, you should learn as much about music as you can. Really go towards the things that you like and that you want to play. Go towards the music you want to play, and that will help you learn and figure out what it is that you want to do on whatever instrument that you play. Right? that's the kind of thing. You got to follow your heart. You got to follow your instincts. You got to be around people who who are like-minded. All right, that's also a huge thing. Being around people who want to do the same thing as you, but also be open to new things. You know, music is so broad. It's so like that. There's so many different ways of doing it. People have different perspectives. So I hope that's helpful. And what do I use for the backing track? So what I was just playing along to is called the Feel Book, and this is a really cool app that was developed by Jonathan Kreisberg, incredible guitar player, and it's real recorded musicians. And each month they add more tunes. You can mute the bass, you can mute the piano or the drums, and so it's a really, and you're playing along with like top like New York cats, and it's really great for if you want to practice improvising over certain standards. It's also really good if you want to mute the bass and just play along, and be able to keep up with a top New York drummer and the way that they play, So I'll give you an example. Before I do, let me just see what's going on in the track. And the tune I just played was Along Came Betty by Benny Golson. Beautiful tune, absolutely. Kind of difficult, but it's just such a beautiful tune. Great melody, nice changes. I absolutely love it. Low End Bike, nice to see you. How have you been playing for 30 years when you look 30? I was born with a bass in hand. It's sometimes, how things like that. I appreciate the compliment, the Low End. Brandon, nice to see you. As always. Hartvig, hey! It's been a minute. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, man. And yes, long time no see. What is your take on gigs you are flying out to? I'm going to France to play some gigs in August, and the band leader suggests that we just borrow instruments and backline locally. Is this something you've tried before? I'm not sure. I'm comfortable playing a new instrument. And Click said, thank you. It's inspiring. Hey, of course, anytime, Clicked. And great questions. I'm glad you asked, and please, if anybody else has questions like that, pop them down in the chat. All right. It's a difficult question, but I can try to answer. I tried to answer to the best of my abilities to kind of steer you in the right direction. So whatever your journey is, good luck with it. We're all rooting for you. All right. And if you do want to learn some of the things that I'm doing, you can study with me as well. Just have a look down in the description box. You'll see links to be able to sign up. But going back to Hartvig's question, yeah, look, I'll tell you this. I've always taken my bass guitar, not this one. This is a newer instrument. I haven't traveled with this as yet. But my Groove Line basses have been all over the world. I've never borrowed a bass guitar. Upright bass, I have. So with that saying, I've never traveled with this upright bass on a plane. I've only driven, if I've, driven long distances, like when I was living in LA, if I was, maybe playing a gig out in Vegas or Palm Springs, San Diego, or even up to the Bay Area, I've taken my upright with me. But anywhere in the world, I've always backlined an upright bass. And I'm always specific with the backline request for an upright bass. Like I specify exactly what I want and what I need, and that it is important. And I also specify exactly what is not acceptable. All right. And that's really important. And 9 times out of 10, I've had great success. I've played incredible upright basses. They're been times where it has been someone's actual personal bass where they've been kind enough to let me use on a gig, which has been always really cool. In terms of a bass guitar, now there are some people who do this. I know a few people who have done this. I can tell you for a fact, the great legendary bassist Abraham Laboriel, I'm not sure if he does much traveling anymore, but I remember at least 10 years ago, and at least in the last decade or so, maybe a little more, he'd always borrow a bass guitar. He would just say that, I need to have a nice 6-string bass and a fretless bass, and he would show up to the gig, and it would be that. Typically, it would be like a Yamaha, because he uses Yamaha, and some sort of fretless bass. And he doesn't use an amp. He would just plug in and just go direct and use 2 monitor wedges. He kept it real basic. And I asked him, I'm like, well, how come you do that? And he's like, because I don't want to worry about anything. He's like, at the end of the day, it's, the music and everything, it comes from me. I just use these as tools. And I was like, wow. And, this is someone, obviously, who's kind of done it all, and so he's very happy and content, and he just loves to play music, and he said he loves playing different instruments. He loves it. He's just like, why not? It definitely keeps things exciting as well, so he loves it. What I would recommend, Hartvig, and if you absolutely cannot take a bass guitar with you, all right, on the backline rider, all right, do not just say a 4-string bass or a 5-string bass, all right? You're setting yourself up for disaster if you do that. You can I would say, be specific as possible. So, for example, you could say, it must be a 5-string active bass that is either whatever companies, all right, must be in good full working order, all right, must be fully set up and easy to play, all right, and is easily adjustable if needed. Because if you get to the gig and you might need to do any adjustments to the bridge or check the truss rod or lower the pickups, you got to do that. And also specify, must have these strings. Be as specific as possible, And I'd say even put in your first choice, your second choice, and a third choice. All right? Like, if you do that, then you'll set yourself up for better success, right? And what might end up happening is, because of that kind of request, they instead of just getting any old whatever beta bass or something, they might actually reach out to a local professional, be like, hey, we've got this band coming in, their bassist needs to borrow a bass for the show, they've requested this, and we're wondering if we can, and whatever agreement they have with whoever's going to lend the bass, they'll figure it out, right? But I would say go there. All right. And and look, you might get lucky and someone might provide like their F bass or like their MTD or something or whatever, and you'd be like, oh, cool, and then at the end of the gig, you feel bummed out because you're like, okay, now I got to give it back, but it can be exciting, trying something new as well. That's how it is. I remember as bassist Ernest Tibbs, incredible bassist, used to play a lot with Alan Holdsworth, Right now he plays with Simon Phillips in the band Protocol. But he was telling me that when he was younger in his early 20s, uh, his he was touring with, I think maybe Gladys Knight. I think it was either Gladys Knight or like Dionne Warwick. One of these great, um, wonderful, great R&B soul vocalists. But anyway, um, he was playing a 6-string Yamaha bass, a TRB, and usually on that gig, any bassist who had been playing in that band, they would just backline a bass, and it'd usually just be a P bass, and that's what the vocalist was used to. And he said that when he showed up with his 6-string bass, she saw the bass and she was like, "That's not a precision." After a while, she was like, whatever. But there are some gigs where you just backline the bass. So that's how it is. But anyway, and Hartvig is saying, how do you take your bass guitar? Do you check it or you carry it on the plane? I'm kind of afraid of getting damaged, to be honest. Look, I'll just say this. And this is the thing you need to understand when traveling, all right? Is that, especially this day and age, it seems like a lot of things have changed. I always, and I haven't traveled in a number of years, but when I was touring a lot and traveling, I would just have my Grooveline bass in a gig bag, and it always came in the cabin with me. All right. Now, yes, you hear all these horror stories of people, they get stopped at the gate and, they say, no, your bass can't go on board and all that, or you got to take your instrument out of the case and the case needs to go under, but you can hold your instrument, which is one of the stupidest things that's just someone with a power trip at the gate, just like trying to, make us look stupid. But my whole thing is like, you gotta set up your vibe for success. It really is that kind of thing. And some of you might be going, oh, that kind of sounds a little silly. Sure, whatever. I'm just telling you from my perspective that whenever I traveled with a bass, I always had success. It might not be guaranteed for you. And I always, took it as like, okay, well, it may or may not happen, but I always betted on, yes, I'm going to have success just getting on the plane with my bass, no problem. The thing is, you have to be, everyone you encounter at an airport and on a plane, you have to be nice to them, okay? You have to be nice. They're dealing with a very stressful job, and in a lot of cases, they're not getting treated well in that job, and other passengers and travelers are not going to be nice to them. If you are really nice and courteous and treat them with respect and really show your appreciation. I mean, don't go super over the top, but like just be nice. You'll be fine. That's always been the thing. And don't make it so obvious that, bring so much attention that like, oh, are they going to see my instrument or whatever? Nah, who cares? Just like I always had it next to me, right? And when I be handing the ticket or scanning my boarding pass, be like, hey, how you doing? Looking them in the eye. So they're looking at you. Be like, all right, it makes a difference. Same thing when, you're greeting the flight attendants. I've got my bass and I've got a smile on my face. Hey, how you doing? That kind of thing. And it's always been fine. And then sometimes if they do see, I mean, the times when I've seen the flight attendant see my instrument, I've got an instrument. Hey, would you like to put that in the closet that we have up front? Would you like to try putting it in overhead? That's been my experience. Now, if I'm going to check in something, I want to make sure I have a good flight case. All right. you want to make sure. And the flight case that I have used, which is really good. I use the Groove Gear Duo capsule. And I even use it even for like local gigs as well, because I can put 2 instruments in it and I can put all my effects and cables and all in it. Yeah, is it heavy when trying to carry it up, 2 flights of stairs for the few gigs I play at? Yeah, but it's on wheels and I love it, and it's everything is there. It's solid, but if you're gonna check an instrument, make sure you have a good flight case, something that's solid. All right. And maybe also, if you are going to travel with a bass, don't take your most expensive instrument. Don't take your most prized instrument. Leave that one at home. All right. Use that for local gigs. Take something on the road that is going to be durable, that sounds great, is really nice, but it's not going to be like a super rare vintage instrument. Wouldn't recommend that. So yeah. Sean Grooveline, thinking of getting a used mode bass from China. Wonder if you know the weight in kgs. I'll have to give the Grooveline a break now because of my hernia. I know, man. I'm so sorry to hear, bro. And I got your messages, man. I'll hit you up soon. The mode bases are light, Sean. They really are. I was really surprised. It's really, I don't know the exact kilograms, but I can tell you it's way lighter than the Groovelines. It really is. So, but make sure you have a good strap. All right. Don't have a real thin one. Get a nice broad strap, or get that Groove Gear Duo strap as well. Just that way you can spread especially if what you've been dealing with, better to spread the weight. I also recommend maybe even just sitting down, man. Sitting on a stool, but don't slouch, obviously. Maybe sit on something that is ergonomic and is great, is good, gives you good posture. Hardvig, F-Bass, I wish. This is the one I would bring myself, but I'm comfortable checking it, to be honest. Yeah, don't bring the F-Bass, man. I know people who do, but if you feel like, like that's your good bass, your prized instrument, I wouldn't do it. Sean saying that's changed nowadays. I had a soft case and wasn't able to take my Grooveline with me while returning back from China. That thing went to luggage and I was panicking. Yeah, that's the thing. So I think nowadays, if I was to travel, I would just put it in the Groove Gear capsule. That's what I have. It's great. It's solid. It's got a lot of padding, and that's what it would be. So yeah. Thought about buying a specific case, so you kind of just took a chance. What if you're denied and you only got a gig bag, then it goes to the luggage with no extra protection? Then it's pure panic. Yeah, absolutely. It is. And look, not all airlines will like destroy your instruments, but we do know the reputation of how things like that. I definitely have known airlines to, some airlines and baggage handlers to, even when it's in a soft case, they've been real nice with it. I haven't had that experience. I haven't had to gate check my instrument, but some of my friends who've had to do that, and they're like, oh, I could see them put it in the plane, nicely, and then when they brought it out, they gave it to me at the gate. They handed it to me. So it's that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna play a tune here. I hope that's helpful, cats. I'm gonna play All the Things You Are in 7. I'm just gonna play the bass part on it. From this field book, just to kind of give you an idea of how you can use it to practice playing bass, especially to a real burning rhythm section. And this rhythm section is Victor Gould on piano, Matt Brewer's on bass, and Colin Stranahan. But right now I'm going to mute Matt's bass playing, and I'm going to play the bass, and then I might unmute him and turn into a soloist at some point. We'll see. And of course, Hartvig, good, all the best. Let us know how it goes. But I hope that's helpful. Yeah, here's a backing track for the field book. All the things you are on 7. Fast 7/4 it says. Oh yeah, in 7. No big deal. I was like, ah! But it's super fun. I mean, you can hear those cats are just absolutely burning, and it inspires you to be able to just try out different things, play, and you've got that really cool, that modern New York sound, and that's the big point of this whole app, and all that, which I absolutely love. So yeah, and so it's really cool. Get to what's another tune here? It's just so I just find myself like just absolutely just practicing, just having fun with this for hours, um, because it just sounds so good, and you can really focus on phrasing as well, which I absolutely love. You can really break it down into its simplest form and not really have to just focus on like, okay, let me like uh try and just shred over this, which, sure, if you want to do that, go ahead, absolutely. I'd definitely like to, do that for sure, but I also like to just, with a nice, swinging rhythm section, be able to just channel into that beat as well, which is really nice. um I'll play another tune, but let me just check the chat here. Oh, and just real quick, if you're new here, welcome. Or if you just joined on, welcome. We're just having fun here. Been talking about this app that I've been checking out, the Field Book, which is developed by Jonathan Kreisberg, as well as talking about traveling with with your basses, or your instruments, things like that. What else? Yeah, what do you need to do in order to? Someone asked, what do I need to do to be able to play like you? And there's a lot of things, but it's not necessarily okay. Like go read this book or theory book, and it's just like, no, you got to find out who you are as a musician. What do you like? What do you want to play? What are you trying to express? It's like deep things like that. Right? It really is, because that will help you understand what you're trying to do, right? And that will dictate the things to work on as well. What music do you like? Who do you look up to? What resonates? Who resonates with you? That kind of thing. Who we got? Securitron 9. I'm 1 year into my self-teaching journey. Hey, that's cool. Congratulations. I'm sure there's a lot of bad habits. Oh, yeah. Winners, they're not, right? That I have simply through being self-taught. Am I wrong to say that there is no wrong or right way to play? I'll tell you this, Securitron. You want to make sure that you don't injure yourself, okay? That's a big one. That you don't hurt yourself. You're playing an instrument, obviously, it's a physical instrument. You want to make sure that you're not doing any damage. So there's nothing wrong with being self-taught. For the most, for quite a while, I was definitely self-taught. I've had many incredible teachers, some of the best bassists in history. I've been, absolutely fortunate to been mentored and studied from, who have helped me get away from maybe some bad habits I didn't realize I was doing. So I would recommend at some point, even if it's just getting like one lesson with someone, to just kind of assess your playing and just make sure that, okay, you were not doing any damage, things like that. And also just to give you some other helpful tips, whether it's techniques or just the concepts of things. And speaking of which, if you'd like to do that with me, you absolutely can. I would love to work with you and kind of see if there's any things that whatever, if there are any bad habits or any to help you develop what you were trying to work on, I'd love to help you with that. So if you have a look in the description box down below, you can sign up for just a one-off lesson with me, or if you want to join my bass mentoring and coaching program, which is one-on-one, you can do that. And that's open to all levels as well. And so you're saying, like, for example, the first person to slap and pop, or as it's called thumping, were they told they were wrong to slap and pop the strings? So this is interesting. No, they weren't, because there was none of. And this is the thing. This is the interesting thing with the bass guitar. So the bass guitar, the electric bass, is 75-ish years old. It's still really young. So, and if we're thinking about the very first time thumping was happening, we're looking at like the late 60s, all right? And Larry Graham is credited, I'd say, Larry Graham and Louis Johnson, they're the pioneers of thumping, right? It's widely known that Larry Graham was the first to do it in the late 60s. And by then, the bass guitar was still in its young stages, all right? People were still, there was no technique other than, like, okay, maybe you use a pick with it, or you pluck the strings in some way. Essentially, they were borrowing techniques from the guitar and the upright bass on the instrument. In terms of thumping, if you look at it this way, somebody had, or in this case, Larry Graham, he had a sound in his head that he was trying to achieve a certain thing. And in this case, he was playing in a band with his mother, and they had a drummer, and the drummer left the band, and so it's like, oh, there goes the rhythm of it. So he was trying to figure out how to do this to get a percussive sound with the bass. And hence, all right, what if I hit the strings in some sort of way? It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. That kind of, covers that part. And then eventually it came with the, doing the pops. A little tighter string spacing on this bass, so. And then, of course, as he develops this, he's just thinking like a drummer. That's the thing. And then, of course, he was also double thumbing as well. This is the thing. A lot of people don't understand that why he was also one of the pioneers of thumping, or the first cat to do it. He was also double thumbing, He was doing that, And so, to answer your question, someone is thinking of a sound in their head. They'll find a way to produce that sound. All right? That's why you have Jocko, the way that he had his thing, his sound, the way that he manipulated the sound of his instrument, obviously playing a fretless bass, but using the back pickup, getting that kind of thing. Stanley Clarke was the same thing, getting that more brighter, sound, and had a big influence of Larry Graham in his playing. Even looking at someone like Victor Wooten, who has incredible amount of technique, right? The tapping and everything. He's hearing all this different music in his head, and he's trying to figure out, how can I do that? That's all it is. And so there's no one there to be like, okay, that's fine. But this is the thing. And some of these musicians, have had to adjust their technique as they go along because they've, as you go along, you figure out, oh man, I've actually just been injuring my thumb. Like with Lewis Johnson, I remember he was saying that at one point the way he was playing, all the slides that he was doing with his thumb, it was cutting his thumb, right? It was doing that kind of thing, and also the way that he was playing with his, when he was thumping, that was injuring his thumb. So he had to figure out. So that's how it is, all right? Now, obviously, because in the 75 plus years of bass playing, we have somewhat of an idea of the basics in terms of the techniques and the ergonomics of playing the instrument, and in order to how do you get a good tone and sound and playing comfortably and effortlessly without injuring yourself. There are things that a professional and a teacher could help you with in terms of making sure that you are not causing any further damage that is going to come back and bite you later down the line. That's the thing. So I hope that answers your question. But feel free I'd love to sit down with you, Securitron, especially because you got such a cool name like that, Securitron. I'd be glad to help you out for sure. Way above the iReal backing tracks. Oh yeah, totally. I mean, look, I love iReal. I do. I absolutely, it's one of my favorite. But in terms of playing along and practicing and feeling inspired, this definitely is it for sure. It really is. So yeah. Chuck Beasy, I've seen Stanley Clarke thump on this upright. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah. No, he does some cool, and then does like some rasgueado, like flamenco techniques on it as well. So that's the thing. He had, a sound. Same thing with someone like Brian Bromberg as well, who does a lot of like, tapping and some thumping on his upright bass as well. It's like he's hearing it's just the whole thing. You're trying to express, and just going back to that very first question that someone had asked, what do I need to do in order to play like you? Well, you need to figure out the music that you want to play, and even if that's all this music that is happening in your head, that will help you, dictate how you want to play your instrument, and you will find a way to get the sound that you're trying to go for. It's how it is. It's one of the ways, I'll tell you that. It's not the way, but for those of you who are trying to figure it out, that's you can start there for sure. Hartvig, yeah, as long as you don't injure yourself and you're having fun, being inspired is the most important in the early stages of playing. Absolutely. That's the other thing, Securitron, and anybody here. Just have fun. Play the music. Like find the stuff that makes you happy. Like for me, like playing through these tunes, this makes me absolutely like so happy. I love this. Like this gives me so much joy when I started using this app. It's just because it's like wow, and this makes me want to play more as well. I was already playing more, but this makes me want to play a lot more as well, which is really cool. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the bass guitar is pretty young, but it's done so much. It's done so much, and it will continue to do so much. It will continue to just to develop, which is so cool, and I love it. I'm gonna play a tune. I'm gonna play a Wayne Shorter tune, Fee Fi Fo Fum. This is one of my favorite tunes. This is from the Speak No Evil album, one of the greatest jazz recordings in history. I mean, this is like this is foundational music. It really is. If you're looking for a great jazz record to listen to, Wayne Shorter's Speak No Evil, absolute classic. All right, Wayne Shorter on sax, Freddie Hubbard on trumpet. Elvin Jones on drums, Ron Carter on bass, Herbie Hancock on piano. I mean, can't go wrong with it. You really can't. Anyway, I love this tune. I'm gonna play this, and then I'll figure out what tune I'm gonna play after this. All right. Such a great tune. And maybe I might have to play Beauty and the Beast, Chuck. I could do that. Why not? That's such a great tune. Hartvig, yeah, it actually is possible to change the key and the tempo, which is cool. The only thing with this is that which is totally understandable, just like in any recording software as well. When you do start getting into a higher rate of tempo, you're going to hear artifacts, right? Which understandable. So right now the tempo is at 113. If I was to, let's just put it at 120, right? You know, let's just put it at 120, all right? And 2, 1, 2. Right? Sounds good. Now, if I start going up into a 130 range, let's do that. Even at that tempo, it's still sounds really good. So I went from 113 BPM all the way to 130, and I don't know. It still sounds really good. Let's just keep. Let's bring it up even more. I want to. Let's get it to where you'll start to hear what when it's like pretty fast. So let's go to 150, right? So let's go from the top of the second chorus. And that's the cool thing about this. You can choose what chorus. So you don't have to always start from the beginning. You can choose what chorus to start on. So I'll just start in the beginning. Even at that tempo, so I'm now at 150 BPM. That still feels really good. It sounds great. It's like, yeah, you definitely feel the push. Let's be real extreme now, just because. Why not? Let's take it to 200 BPM. All right, you're gonna start to hear like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be obvious, but I've come a long way. You know, like we're just going from 113 BPM to 150, and it's still really great. You know. Sure, there are some things that sound sped up, like obviously there was, but it was actually kind of cool. The piano played this like, doom 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 boom boom boom, real kind of monk, Thelonious Monk like thing, to where that inspired me to do that as well. Da da doom, dun dun dun, da da da. So, 200 BPM, man. Yeah, I came from 113 all the way up to 200. So now, if I reset the tempo, it's going to feel real slow now. That's the thing. It's going to feel real slow. Back to 113. It really just, that's the thing. This can definitely, this can help you with like your feel as well, in terms of like, playing swing, right? Tighten up your swing feel, loosen up your swing feel as well. Like, it's really good for that. You can also change the pitch. So let's take it up. It does it in semitones. So let's take it up like a whole tone. And Stephen Miller, I don't play with light strings. They're just regular gauge. At least for these are the DR high beams. So they might seem like they're light. They're definitely not. I can't play with light strings actually because there's too much flex in them. They're a little too thin. I need to have some body to it. So I'm taking this up 2 semitones, so a whole tone, which is really good because you want to play in you want to practice in the different keys, absolutely, and you will hear the difference when you take it up, right? Some things might sound like it's it's had helium, the higher you go, obviously. Tristan Talks Music, how you doing? Nice to see you, Tristan. Appreciate you. We're just checking out the app called the Feel Book, and we were just testing out, because you can adjust the tempo on it and also the pitch. So I'm just taking up. Okay, so I'm gonna from the beginning. That's cool. It's so cool, and I've never played that tune like in that key before, so it's a nice challenge as well. It really is. So this is so Tristan. This is called. It's a real book app, and it's recorded. So this was Jonathan Kreisberg who developed this app, and it's just he's recorded real rhythm sections in the studio of like heavy New York cats, and every month they add more tunes to the library of this. So it's standards. He did tell me they're going to be adding some more like fusion tunes as well. So of course I told him, I was like, oh, you got to add some Alan Holdsworth tunes, but it's really cool. And you can change the tempo and the pitch of it. So I'm really enjoying it. So the Feel Book. So definitely check it out. They have a trial version as well. You can do like a 14-day trial and check it out. It's really great. It's so much fun. I'm like I could just play with it forever. It's really cool. In the rhythm sections that they have on it, I mean, these are like heavy cats as well. Some of the tracks, it's Ari Honig playing drums, there's Willie Jones the third, Colin Stranahan. There's some burning cats. Even Joe Dyson is on, as well, which is really cool. Bassists like Matt Penman or Matt Brewer. Who else? Joe Martin. They're like burning cats. So it's really cool. So yeah. So it looks like you have such a light attack, but that bass has a nice full sound. Thank you. Yeah, no, this bass indeed it's very responsive. I don't play very hard. I definitely I play with a balanced touch. At least for me, I don't overplay, I don't underplay, but I also play at I have a good gain level as well to ensure that I have plenty of headroom, and also when I'm playing that it gives me the ability to be able to add in any accents, without overdoing it. So that's the thing. But it's definitely I try to make sure that I have a good consistency on and fluid motion on the instrument. That's a big part of what I do. So yeah. Tristan. So definitely, I'd recommend this Feel Book, and especially if you're a trombone player. I think you would really enjoy it. This is like perfect for horn players and all that. If you're practicing, improvising over these tunes, you'll definitely enjoy it. Do I have a favorite real book tune? You really like Blue Bossa? Oh, I love Blue Bossa. Maybe I'll play Blue Bossa for a little bit. That might be nice. I haven't played Blue Bossa on this. But, great Kenny Dorham tune, obviously. One of my favorite real book tunes, I definitely love playing Along Came Betty. Alone Together is really cool. I like All the Things You Are. Solar. There's many, tunes. Ballads, like Body and Soul, Misty, Ask Me Now. There's plenty of tunes. It kind of the list goes on, on this track for Blue Bossa. So it's Glenn Zaleski on piano, Danton Boller on bass, Willie Jones III, and so I'll play a bit of this. That's cool. Haven't played that in ages, you know? And yes, Tristan, yeah, this is a. I'm actually using the desktop app for this. This is how you're hearing it. But they have it on, you can get the app on your tablet or on your phone. But I I opted to have it on the desktop on my computer so that I could do this with it, you know? So that's the cool thing. And yeah, I'm not too sure if it's I guess they haven't got it ported for Windows as yet. At least maybe a Windows app, but maybe you might be able to have it on if you have an Android phone. I'm not sure. I know I've always been an Apple and Mac kind of guy, you know. So that's cool. But I use a Mac here, and that's what I'm using it here. So the other thing, cats, and I'm gonna wrap up shortly, but before I do so, if you follow, first of all, I appreciate you all hanging out with me today, tonight, this morning, wherever you are in the world. This has been really cool. I appreciate you all, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel here. And I do this live stream twice a week. So this is the Tuesday edition, which is a little more, I don't want to say low key, or maybe it is, I don't know. But since it's like nighttime for me, so I'm not like, so, usually I have some sort of caffeinated beverage with me, like I do on the ones that I do at the end of the week. And also I have like the amp kind of cranked up a bit more as well. So it's definitely a little more rowdiness going on. I mean, not a whole lot, But anyway, I appreciate you all. and down below in the description box, please check out my bass resources. Those are resources that I've created and are also still building in order to help you with your bass playing journey. So there's courses, if you want to take a lesson with me or join my bass mentoring coaching program, you can check that out down below. And it's open, it's one-on-one. If you were to study with me, it's not a group session, it's all one-on-one. You study, work directly with me, and also, if you like, on a weekly basis as well. So make sure you check that out. And again, the app that I've been using here is called the Fieldbook, which is a really great practice app that I've been really enjoying lately, developed by Jonathan Kreisberg. So make sure you check that out as well. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have noticed in my Instagram stories, so for the next 30 days, and I'm actually at day 14 now, which is cool, I'm almost at the halfway point, I've been practicing the unison lines in the Chick Corea tune Gotta Match. And I'm not talking about the head, you know. I'm talking about the part that is in the drum solo, the unison lines there, the little solo parts that they all play together. And one of my goals has been to learn that and to be able to play it comfortably. I always thought it was a very difficult, challenging kind of passage, which is really cool. And I've been practicing it I first learned it maybe started learning it probably a year ago, kind of off and on. But this month I've been, been meaning to actually put some good emphasis on it, which I've been doing every single day. I did notice that I was playing a few of the things incorrect, including a few notes in the head, the melody itself. So I actually checked in with the great John Patitucci, who played on the track, and he actually showed me, how he has played it and how he has developed or played it differently throughout the years. So he was showing me how he played it when he in his earlier days with Chick, and when he was using the Ken Smith bass, he said that bass had a more slimmer neck, so he said that bass you could absolutely fly on it. Yamahas were a little more difficult, but they sounded better. That's what he was saying. So he, over the years, he figured out different ways to play it, which was cool. So it was really great. The way that I've been playing it. Yeah. And that one there. And so what was actually cool was that the fingering that I was playing for that part was almost identical to what he was doing. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of close. But I was super curious as to how he approached it, and he was absolutely kind enough to just show me. Of course, I have to give a huge shout out to Mr. John Patitucci, one of the greatest ever, right? I mean, set a standard for us, and just being such an incredible person. So what I'm going to do is, because this is day 14 of playing that, I'm going to play along I'm gonna find a random live recording of Electric Band playing it and play along with it, just in that in that passage. And that's the thing, I've been finding many different recordings, live recordings of them playing it, and because they all play at a different tempo, so just say, you know, like, okay, can I play it at that tempo or whatever? So let's see. Let's choose this one. All right, there's one here. There's a video here from Chick Corea's 75th birthday celebration at the Blue Note. This was 9 years ago.
Oscar, it's great to be a cat.
Sorry, that's an ad right there for cat food. While that's loading up, so in the chat. Thank you, Tristan. Good to see you. Hey, Beat Up, the producer. How you doing, man? Nice to see it. Oh yeah, man. You're man. I appreciate it. You are an absolute monster on the bass. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. That's how I was thinking. I was just like, oh, is it this? Yeah, this is Brian B-Dub. Man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And cats, if you want to check out another like absolutely like monstrous bassist, check out this dude here, B-Dub, the producer. Phenomenal bassist. I appreciate you dropping by, B-Dub. Thank you so much. Now you can see me embarrass myself trying to play this line. So let me just find where they play it. Okay, so and this is obviously someone's just camera audio. So I'm gonna go to the part where the cue is. Alright, here's a cue. Play it one more time. And of course, you know, Dave Weckl just tearing it up there. Play it one more time. I feel like I missed a few notes. Time. Why not? We're gonna try and find a different one. So, that's a pretty nice tempo as well that they played it at. I know back in like the 80s, the 80s and early 90s, they would play it so fast. So let me see. Is there another? I know I've kind of gone over time here a little bit, but yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm having fun. Let's see. Yeah, they'd play it pretty fast. All right. Play along this one. Here's the very last.
Ginger ale
No, it just
and
goes to an ad. Hold on. All right, so I'll play this one. This is from their very last performance that they ever played this tune. Yeah, the final, and I think this is the final ever electric band performance. This is at Tokyo Jazz Festival 2019. All right. Okay. Yeah, go on, Dave. Oh, not yet. No, one more chorus. No, not yet. Oh, I've gone back too far. Okay, here's the cue. When he starts playing the songo. Missed it. See, like now I'm going into the rabbit hole, and it's probably like because I'm tired now. Still one more time for good luck, and then I'm out of here. I was gonna play the wrong thing. Sorry. You see, now I've lost where the one is. Sorry, guys. Alright. It's like, I gotta do it. I gotta have it. I'm not trying to get it perfect. I'm just trying to feel more comfortable with it. What? See, I've jinxed myself now. Jinx myself. I've jinxed myself, haven't I? Jinxed myself. No, I haven't. Don't say that. What if I can get it? Just need to know where one is. There we go. That's better. That's probably the best I'm going to be able to do it tonight. Anyway, folks, I appreciate you all. Beat up. Found your channel while researching those new Ibanez jazz basses. Yeah, absolutely. There it is, right there. Go get one. Go get one. B-Dub. Show us what you can do with it. Do some killing. Do some killing videos with it. You'll absolutely. I'd love to hear you on one. Definitely get one. The mode bass, if you want to know. So that's the MDM 1605. If you want a 4-string, it's going to be a 1600 or 1606 if you want a 6-string version. But then they also have the 1000, which is just a 4-string of there's different woods. Check them out, B-Dub. You'll really enjoy it. They're really great. Anyway, play a little goodbye music. And thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you all. You're all awesome. Again, please like and subscribe. Check out my links down below in the description box. Wherever you are, be safe, take care, enjoy playing music, have fun, all right? Play the music, listen to the music that you want to play and listen to. Please do so. It's Steve Martinez. The string gauge I'm using, hello, by the way, I'm using the DR high beam, so yeah, these ones. So there I've got 30, 45, 65, 85, 105, and 130. That's what I'm using. So, pretty standard regular gauge. Anyway, thank you, cats. Appreciate you all. You cats are awesome. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, night, morning, evening. Please take care. I'll talk to you soon. All right? Peace, everyone.